Welcome to April Motif. This month we're looking at this gorgeous, it's like a French crochet lace style, and I saw it on Anne with an E. I don't know if you've seen that show, it's one of my favourites, and this is inspired from her bedspread. So I have seen similar designs used as tablecloths. I'm using a thin cotton, an 8/4 cotton, with a 3mm hook, but if you wanted to make a tablecloth, you might want to go down a hook size so it's a bit firmer. I've got a pattern that I've drawn out. Yeah, there's the motif and then how to join. I'll pop that on my blog and put the link in the description below. So let's get started. Beginning with a slip knot, we're going to chain 7. After you've chained 7, we're going to slip stitch into the first chain. Oops. Yeah, and then pull that tight. Let's just take that out of the way. So I like to chain 1 before I start the next round, yeah? So round 1, we're going to make 24 US doubles, UK trebles, straight into that circle. So make your starting stitch however you like to do that. Yeah, and then we're going to make 23 US doubles, UK trebles, straight into that circle. Yeah, so I'll see you at the end of the round. Oops, when we've made all our stitches. So I think I'm just about to make my last stitch. I'm just going to check, count my stitches before I do. So I should have 23 stitches. Yes, 23. So I'm going to make the last stitch. And then slip stitch to finish the round. Yeah, and that's round 1. 24 US doubles, UK trebles. So for round 3, we're going to chain 1 to begin. So for round 3, we're going to be making US double trebles and UK triple trebles. Yeah, so they're quite big stitches. To make the first one, I've already chained 1. I'm going to go into the first stitch and make a US single, UK double, and then chain 3. 1, 2, 3. And that's going to count as my first stitch. I'm then going to chain 2. So what we're going to do here for this next round is we're going to be crossing stitches behind each other, yeah? So we're going to make our next US double treble, UK triple treble, 2 spaces behind, yeah? So we're going to wrap our yarn round once, twice, 3 times, and then we're going to go behind the work, yeah? And we're going to go, not the first stitch behind, but the second stitch behind. So it's like we skip 1, yeah? We then go in, pull the yarn through, and finish the stitch like we normally would. So we're going to yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. Yeah, we're then going to chain 2. So we're now going to move, because that's going to cross like so, yeah? We're now going to move forwards again. So we're going to skip 2, 1, 2, and we're going to go into the third stitch. We're going to yarn over 3 times, go into the third stitch, pull through, and finish the stitch as before. Yeah, we then chain 2, and we're going to work backwards again. So we're going to do the same thing as we did before. We're going to skip the stitch behind and work in the second stitch behind. It will be one in front of the stitch behind. Yeah, so we're going to yarn over 3 times again, and then we're going to go behind the work and into the stitch. Yeah, pull the yarn through and finish off the stitch. I'm going to chain 2, so there's always a chain 2 between each stitch, and all the stitches are the same. Yeah, so now we're going to work forwards again. We're going to skip 2, 1, 2, and go into the 3rd stitch. Finish off the stitch. And chain 2. So we're now going to cross behind again. So same as before, we skip the stitch directly behind and go into the next one. So yarn over 3 times and then go behind the work and into the stitch. Yeah. So it's a bit fiddly. And then remember, chain 2. Working forwards, we skip 2, yarn over 3 times and go into the 3rd stitch, and that's our repeat. Yeah, so I'll see you at the end of the round. We will have 16 stitches and 8 crosses, because that's what they're making, is crosses. Let me show you. So we should have these crosses forming, yeah? And we'll have 8 crosses in total. So I'll see you at the end of the round. I've just made my last stitch. Your last stitch, you should be making one behind, yeah, and then I'm going to chain 2. And then we can slip stitch, so make sure that you take that first stitch back. Yeah, and we can just slip stitch straight into that chain space. Yeah, and that's what your round 2 should look like. So round 3, we're going to chain 1. Yeah, we're in that chain space in between the 2 stitches that make 1 cross. Yeah, and we're going to make, in each chain space, each chain 2 space, we're going to make 3 US singles, UK doubles. Yeah, so we've already chained 1, we can just go straight in there and make the first stitch. So I'm going to make 1, 2, I'm going to make the last one when I come back round to the beginning. Yeah, so then we're just going to hop across to the next chain space and make 3 US singles, UK doubles. So much simpler round than the last one. If you made it through the last one, well done. And I'll see you when we get back to the end of this round. Coming up to the beginning, remember we've only done 2 stitches in that first space, so we're gonna go in there and then slip stitch to join. I'm going to ignore that first stitch and go straight across to slip stitch so that I don't end up with that extra chain, and then when I come back round to do the next round, I'll go into the top of the original one. So on this round, on the next round, we're going to be making 8 increases, and we're going to make the increases on the first stitch between, on these chain spaces between the 2 crosses. Yeah, so it will be on the next. So we're going to make 1 stitch here, chain 1, and then make 1 stitch and that last of those 3 stitches in the cross, and then we're going to make our first increase. So we're going to make 1 and 2 in that same stitch, US singles, UK doubles for this whole round. So then we're going to make, finish off that, we're going to make 1 2, 3, 4 and 5, and then we make our next increase. So we're back in between 2 crosses, yeah? So we make 2 stitches in that one stitch, and then 5 stitches along till we get to the next increase, yeah? And then when we get to in between 2 crosses again, we're going to make that increase after 5 stitches, yeah? 1 and 2. So I'll see you at the end of the round. So I've just finished off that round, and I'm going to slip stitch across to join, yeah, and we're going to chain 1. So we're going to do the same thing. We're going to make 8 increases. Instead of putting the increases in between 2 crosses, I'm going to put the increases in between at the start of the stitches on the actual cross. Yeah, so we're going to go in and make a US single, UK double. And then we should be at the beginning where we just made the last increase on the last round. So we're going to make a stitch in each of those. And then you're going to go across 2 more. And this is where I'm going to make my increase. So we're going to go in with 2 US doubles, US singles, UK doubles. And then instead of, so last time we counted for 5 stitches in between each increase, this time we're going to count 6 stitches between each increase. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, and then we make our increase, so 2 stitches in that one stitch, and then go along 6 more stitches. To be honest, it doesn't really matter where you put your increase as long as you're doing 6 stitches between each increase. And I'll see you at the end of the round. At the end of the round, we're just going to slip stitch to join again. And that's how it should look at the end of, what was that, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, round 5. So round 6, we're going to do the same thing. We're going to make 8 increases, US singles, UK doubles, all the way around. Again, I'm going to alternate where I put my increase. So I'm going to go in and make 1 single, US single, UK double straight away. And then on the next stitch, I'm going to do my increase. So I'm going to make 2 stitches in there. So last time we were counting 6 stitches between increases. This time we're going to count 7 stitches between increases. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7, and then we're going to make our next increase. So 2 stitches in the next stitch, and then 7 stitches. And I'll see you at the end of the round. So I've just finished that last round. I'm just going to slip stitch to join. Where am I? Yeah, and I'm going to go in there. Okay, so that's the end of round, where are we at? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we've just made 1, 2, 3, 4 rounds of US singles, UK doubles. And we're now going to make a round of US doubles, UK trebles, and we're going to do 8 increases again. Yeah, so this time, instead of counting 7 between each increase, we'll be counting 8. Yeah. So chain 1 and then make your starting stitch however you like to make that. And then we're going to make, oops, 1, 2. So if we count that as the first stitch, that's 3, sorry. 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Yeah, so we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then we're going to make our first increase. So we're going to make 2 stitches. 1, 2 into the same stitch. And then make 8 stitches along. Yeah, so. And we're going to go all the way around like so. So I'll see you back at the beginning of the round. So at the end of round 7, we will be finishing off with an increase. Yeah. Oops. Missed the stitch. So 1. And 2, and then slip stitch to join. Yeah, and that's how it should look at the end of round 7. It's looking good, huh? And it's taken shape better now as well. These crosses, they can feel a bit funny at the beginning, but it all comes into shape. So for the next round, we're going to go back to making the crosses the same as we did on the second round. This time, though, we're going to make 20 crosses. We're going to be using the same stitch, the US double treble, UK triple treble, but we're going to be moving across more stitches than we did here. So here you'll notice that the crosses are next to each other with just a space in the middle there. This time we're going to have a space in between each stitch, working backwards and forwards. So don't worry if that didn't make any sense. You can see now. So we're going to chain 1 and we're going to make our first US double treble, UK triple treble by making a US single and then chain 3. Yeah. So as we did with the last round, with the crosses before, we're going to have chain 2 space between each stitch. We're then going to yarn over 3 times and we're going to work backwards. So same as we did before, we're going to go back 2 stitches, going behind the work. Going behind the work, take hold of the yarn and then finish the stitch. So yarning over and pulling through 2 at a time. Yep, and then chain 2. Don't worry, that first cross does take a while to sort of sit into place. So then we're going to go into the next one. So before we were skipping 2, this time we're going to skip 3. So we're going to skip 1, 2, 3, and we're going to work into the 4th stitch. So we're going to yarn over 3 times, go into the 4th stitch, yeah, and make your stitch. chain 2, and then we're going to work backwards again. Yeah, so we're going to yarn over 3 times. We're going to go behind the work and we're going to skip 1 and go into the second stitch behind. Yeah, pull your yarn through and finish the stitch. You want to keep your loops close together on the hook to keep the stitches from going a bit big and baggy. So there we go, you can see the pattern starting to form. Chain 2. So now we work forwards, we skip 3. Yeah, so 1, 2, 3, and work into the 4th stitch. And chain 2. Yeah, so then we're going to work backwards again, yarn over 3 times. We're going to go behind, skip the first stitch and work into the next stitch. Yeah, I know it's a bit fiddly. It's less fiddly, I think, than the second round though. And then chain 2, so always chain 2. Yep. So then working forwards, yarn over 3 times, skip 3 and work into the 4th stitch. And we're going to go around all the way like so. Yeah, and at the end you will have 20 crosses and 40 stitches. Yeah. No, went into the wrong one. Oops, let's start again. So I'm going to carry on and I'll see you at the end of the round. So I'm just finishing up that round. I'm just going to slip stitch into the chain of the first cross to finish, yeah? And there's the end of that round. I did actually make a little mistake somewhere. I don't know if you can notice it. But coming into the next round. So the next round is actually a nice, it's not too difficult. It's a relatively quick round after that round, yeah? So we've slip stitched into there and we're going to chain 1, yeah? So we're going to be working in between the crosses. We're going to make a US double, UK treble. So just make your starting stitch however you like to make that. Chain 1, and then we're going to make another US double, UK treble into the cross. Yeah. We're then going to chain 2, 1, 2, and we're going to make a US single, UK double into that chain 2 space from the previous round. Chain 2. And then into the next chain 2 space, we're going to make a US double, UK treble, chain 1, and another US double, UK treble. Whoops. Chain 2. Into the next chain 2 space, a US single, UK double, and chain 2. Into the next chain 2 space, a US double, UK treble, chain 1, US double, UK treble. And that's our pattern. So we just keep going round like so. Chain 2, US single, UK double, and chain 2. Yeah, and I'll see you at the end of the round. So I'm just coming up to the end of the round, and I'm just going to slip stitch into that chain one space that we started with, yeah, and there we go. There's the end of that last round. So that's what, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9, round 9. So round 10 is pretty much the same as that round, except instead of doing chain 2 down to the little stitch, you do chain 3 and then go into it. I'll do that with you now. But we also use this round to join the motifs together. Yeah, so you can see that they're actually joined together on that round. So we're going to look at that. We're going to join this motif to this motif. Yeah, so we are going to, into there, chain 1. Yeah, and then we're going to make our first US double, UK treble, however you like to make that, and then chain 1, and then make another stitch in there. So here's where this round is different. We chain 3, and then we're going to make a US single, UK double into the US single, UK double from last round. And then we're going to chain 3 and go into the chain 1 space with a US double, UK treble, chain 1, whoops, and then a US double, UK treble. Chain 3, US single, UK double onto the US single, UK double from last round, and chain 3. And then we'll go into here with just the one US single, UK double, because I'll show you how you can join them together now. So if you're just making your first one, you're just going to carry on going all the way around like so. Yeah, and then when we're ready to join them, make sure you've got the right side of your work facing you. So we're going to go into here. So we are going to skip these 2 and we're going to join along these 3 bits. Yeah, so that you can see these 3 have joined together, and then we're going to skip 2 and we're going to join these, and then this last little bit I'll put in a different video for you. So we've made that first US double, UK treble. We're then going to chain 1. Now make sure you've got the right bit. Yeah, so we're going to skip 2 and we're going to go into here. So we've chained 1. We're then going to go in between the 2 stitches. Make sure you've got the wrong side of the work facing each other. You're going to go into there, pull the yarn through and make a US single, UK double. Chain 1, and then we're going to make a US single, UK double back onto this motif. So we're finishing up that little bit. We're then going to chain 3, 1 2 3, and we're going to make a US single, UK double onto the other one from the last round. We're then going to chain 3, 1 2 3. We're going to make our first US double, UK treble. We're not going to chain 1 this time. Remember, wrong sides facing. Yeah, make sure you've got the right bit. And you're just going to go in to the chain 1 space. And we're going to make a US single, UK double. We're then going to go straight back into the motif we're working on and make a US double, UK treble. So let me just show you what we've just done. Let me pull my hook out so that it's a bit clearer. Yeah, so we've just joined that part and that part. And now we're going to join this bit with this bit. Yeah. So let's pop the hook back in there. So we're going to chain 3. Yeah, and then we're going to make a US single, UK double on top of the US single, UK double from the last round. Chain 3. And then in between the 2 US doubles, UK trebles, we're going to make our first US double, UK treble. We're going to chain 1. We're going to go into the next space, yeah, on the other motif, pull through, make a US double, US single, UK double, chain 1, and then we're going to go back in and finish off with the US double, UK treble. Chain 3. We make a US single, UK double on the US single, UK double from the last round. Chain 3. And then we just finish off as we did the last round, yeah? So we go in, make a US double, UK treble, chain 1, make the second stitch in there, whoops. Chain 3, US single, UK double, onto the US single, UK double from the last round. Whoops. Chain 3, and then into the chain 1 space, making the US double, UK treble, chain 1, US double, UK treble. And just keep going all the way around until you're back to the beginning. So let's have a look at that. Let me pull that out. Oops, got that caught on the table there. So there we go. You can see we've got another motif added. Yeah, and I'll see you in the next video when we look at adding this middle bit. Yeah.